Hello everyone, it's me, Master Walrus 9, back with another episode of Walrus's TCG. No, wait. No, this isn't Walrus's TCG Dailies. Instead, I'm going to try and start a new series. So this is a little project of mine I want to try out. I'm going to call it the National Dex Challenge. It's a list of 6 rules for this challenge that encourages people to play Pokemon they wouldn't normally play in the Pokemon TCG. So the entire gimmick is you have to play each Pokemon in the entire National Dex, with some exceptions, at least once, and win. Let's take a look at the rules. First rule, most important rule, games must be played in the standard format. Well, what about cards that aren't legal in standard? Like the Ultra Beasts aren't legal right now. They're an exception. You don't have to play them. If in a future set they drop the Ultra Beast or any other card that's not currently legal in standard, then you can play them and add them to your list. Second, a Pokemon can only appear once per deck. That means that as soon as you use the deck that the Pokemon appears in, that Pokemon will no longer be able to appear. So my first deck I thought would be fitting to start off would be Venusaur, Bulbasaur, and Ivysaur. So, once I use these Pokemon, they will no longer be able to appear in any future decks. This includes any supports such as Cherrim and Cherubi. So any future decks I decide to play will not be able to use these cards. This is only for the Pokemon. Trainers and energies are the exception. This is going to be a tough challenge, so I add trainers and energies as an exception for a bit more fluidity. But after this matchup, then I will no longer be able to play any of these cards. Taking a look at rule number 3, all evolution cards, or all cards on an evolution line that appear on the deck, must appear in the deck. So, since I am playing Venusaur, then the Ivysaur and Bulbasaur must exist in the deck. The exception would be if you're playing a deck that does not have an evolution available, such as Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Vulpix exists, Alolan Ninetales does not. Baby Pokemon are the other exception. If you really want to make it, I would encourage you to include them to your deck to follow a theme. But if you want to save that baby Pokemon, such as Mime Jr., Elekid, Magby, for later on, that can work, since they do not need to evolve into anything. They're basic in their own right. Rule number 4, Pokemon of other forms are considered as their own Pokemon. So, going back to Vulpix, there's Vulpix and there's Alolan Vulpix. Alolan Vulpix is its own Pokemon, and so using regular Fire Vulpix will not disclude the Alolan Vulpix. The Alolan Vulpix will need to have a deck made of its type. Rule number 5, Pokemon of different card types are considered the same Pokemon. So, taking a look at what I have here, Venusaur in specific has many different card types. So let me just pull this up. There is the Radiant Venusaur, Venusaur EX, Venusaur Base, Venusaur V, and Venusaur V Max. And you could potentially go into Venusaur V Star. There's no V Star, but you get the idea. Ultimately, all of these considered the same Pokemon. So, as soon as I use the Venusaur Base, any other of these Pokemon, EX, Radiant, V, and V Max, are off limits in any future decks. So if I want to use these Pokemon, EX, Radiant, Venusaur, V, and V Max, then I have to use them now. You are not obliged to. All you have to use is the basic evolution line. So Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur. Anything else does not have to be used. And finally, rule 6, in order to cross the Pokemon off your list, you have to at least win one game. That way you just can't play a match and say, oh, I did my match, we're done. No, this is part of the challenge. So, one more time going over the rules. Standard format. You can only use a Pokemon once per deck. Every Pokemon in the evolution line must appear, the exception being baby Pokemon, the exception being cards that are not in standard. Different forms of the Pokemon, or different card forms of the Pokemon, EX, V, or Radiance, are considered the same and can only be used in the deck they appear in. And finally, you must take a win. So taking a look at the Venusaur here, I'm running 12 grass energy. Supporter core is going to be 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Bosses, research, Arven, Iono, and Gardenia allows for a bit more grass ramp. Energy is going to be big since these cards are expensive. We're running a couple Ultra Ball, a couple Rare Candy, couple Nest Ball, there it is. Couple Artazone for our searching core. Switch and Escape Rope are going to be big. I even included a copy of Big Air Balloon because our retreat cost is high. 4-cost retreats are huge. And Venusaur EX wants to be switching out to maximize its high HP pool. But yeah, this is going to be Dex Challenge Venusaur. So again, once I use these cards, they are no longer going to be eligible for use in any other decks. That's supposed to encourage creativity in your deck construction and a bit of challenge. We're going against Josh Powello 204. Love to go first. I'm trying to avoid cards like Battle VIP Pass to, just encourage deck diversity. Radiant Venusaur is going to be my primary draw engine here. Tough opener. Looks like we're playing against water. Luxurious Cape's interesting. We won't have advantage, but the water could be interesting. With the Luxurious Cape, high HP. We do a lot of poison and stuff. If they're not recovering, then we're fine. Iono, okay. Looks like we're playing against Origin Form Palkia. We can dump research. We'll see what we want to do. We're just gonna Artazone. Set this up and get a... let's get a Cherubi. We can go Cherrim next turn. And yeah, I say we're fine. I don't know if I want to necessarily Iono next turn. Or research. We'll see how many cards they play from hand. If they're low, like 2 free, then we'll research. We'll evolve and be an Earthen Vessel. The Radiant Venusaur is decent enough as a draw. Happens at the end of the turn, which is all right. I mean, I would prefer more middle of the turn, like a B-Barrel. But we take what we can get. We don't want to waste our B-Barrel on the Venusaur deck. And then, after the Pokemon Go, the base Venusaur is very interesting. It's a coin flip, but it's a boss's orders and a sleep and poison if the coin flip happens. So it's really strong. Escape Rope's unfortunate, but I don't think he's going to be able to ramp up the energy. The Oko. Ideal situations, we pull a Gardenia right here. But we are going to want to Iono. I mean, that's strong of an advantage from the Irida. We can force them to... Yeah, we got really nothing here going on. So... I'm at Cherubi. Well, Voltacherum. We'll Artazone, pick up a Bulbasaur. We're just going to switch into the Bulbasaur for now. But because of that Irida right there, now they either have to get super lucky or use another Irida. And if they don't have those options, then that works out well for us. Okay, Venusaur go. We'll set up another Nest Ball. We just want to load up our Bulbasaurs. And we got nothing crazy right now. We're just gonna set up another grass energy on Radiant Soar right here. We evolved, so it's not really worth doing anything. We're just gonna end turn. I am running a copy of TM Evolution. TM Evolution should be able to help out a lot. But these Venusaur here are expensive. The Cherim's not gonna be able to target Radiant or the EX. However, we can get him in the Bulbasaur form. So the only one who's kind of limited is the Radiant Venusaur. Oh, good heavens. I thought the song was playing. Whoopsie. Okay, they go Arctibax. So it's a tricky situation. If we can take out the Arctibax, which our Radiant Soar should be able to do, they can. This interesting. Then we're in a really good advantage. Was that Kingler? Kingler V, interesting. They don't have the water energy out, but with Chien-Pao, that's gonna be tough. Okay, this is nice. We're gonna dump Super Rod here, right? And well, we don't have a really better supporter, so we're just gonna Gardenia here. End turn. We're gonna Nest Ball here. Run this. Go here and let's rare candy. We can start throwing interesting aspects up. If we get these coin flips, that's boss's orders. Yeah. So now, if they evolve, which I have a high feeling they're going to be able to, they're going to cure from the poison and sleep. So instead, I'm going to move up the Kingler V. The free retreat cost is going to force out a need to switch. And here comes Sunny Bloom. Okay, this is honestly good. Haven't really tried this deck set yet, but all right. Okay, they heal from the sleep, which is unfortunate, but the sleep wasn't doing a crazy amount. I was anticipating more on them running a switch or a switch card, maybe escape rope. Venusaur EX is going to be our big attacker that we want to just get going. I'm thinking I'm going to Earthen Vessel away the Ultra Ball. Just attach free grass energy onto the Bulbasaur right here so we can prep up our Venusaur EX. They attach water energy. Let's see if they get the coin flip. It's a coin flip. They get attached 5 energy to their hand. No, it's a coin flip. They get attached from their deck 5 water energy to their Pokemon any way they like. That's pretty good. The issue is the coin flip mechanic. So they opt to not do any, it looks like. I don't know. Let's just start with Loopy Lane or Loopy Lasso. If we can move up the Arctibax, then we're in a pretty good situation. Yeah. Party. Okay, we're gonna Earthen Vessel. We're gonna just knock out a Venusaur EX. Pick up 2 of these. I want to retreat. I just don't have the switch. And if we want to do that, we need to take out the Venusaur EX. We have... Yeah, this is what I wanted to do. I could have potentially waited, but I want that evolution just going on. We do have like escape ropes. Or super rods. We got super rods. Okay. Gardenia Vigor, not bad, especially with the draw potential from Sunny Bloom. So we're gonna set up the 4. I don't believe we dumped our super rods. They are in here some. We got one more existing. It might be in the prize cards or it might be in the deck. The curious thing is, what are they gonna move up? Now I'm wondering if they're gonna be playing Kingler VMAX. Okay, we are dead. This isn't terrible. This isn't terrible. But we are gonna be dead. We need to stall a bit. It's an interesting concept for a water deck. There's a Greninja. Okay. There goes research. Interesting. Honestly, good research on their end. Full face guard. Seadra. You're gonna have to dump at least 3 water energy, which I presume come from the Kingler. Two from Kingler, 1 from Palkia. Okay. We're just gonna move up the Ivysaur. Or Bulbasaur. I'm gonna evolve with the Ivysaur this turn. S-Ball. Let's take a look. So we do have the Super Rod in here and 4 water energies. So honestly, not terrible. We don't have an Ivysaur in here, so Ultra Ball is not going to be that big of an advantage. We're just going to Loopy Lasso. Nutterhead's been doing good. We're just going to move up the Kingler. And there's nothing else really to do. Tails, so they're going to remain asleep. Super nice. I mean, they can switch out. But ultimately, we're in a solid spot right here. It's not how I want to win right now. I do want to actually do some damage. But this is going to build up. The Palkia is going to be a pain. They can hit for 260. Yeah, there comes the Star Portal. They're asleep, so they can't attack, however. Irida. Interesting. I wonder what they're going for. Baxcalibur and Switch. Okay. Yeah, so the Irida to force out a Switch does make sense. They need to get rid of 2, which is super nice about the 70 HP. Out of water energy in the deck, it seems. So there's potential to stall out a longer game and essentially force them to where they can't do anything. I mean, it could be just checking, but that was way too quick to be just a check. And we don't have any double prizers up on the field yet. I'm feeling fine so far. So we're gonna move up Bulbasaur, and we're gonna Loopy Lasso, hopefully bring the Kingler V back up. Because the Palkia V forces a bit of a more of a threat. Their retreat cost and the Greninja. If they're running the VMAX, that's what I'm anticipating. If they're running the VMAX, then the Kingler V is going to be a lot more desirable to have that damage on. Okay. Okay. Finally drew their card. We're going to just move up on our Bulbasaur. Switch, not what I wanted, but we can work with it. We're going to Loopy Laszlo. Okay, there's the tails. Has to happen sometime. We're gonna boss's orders into Kingler V. Hope to stall out a bit. And we're just gonna Ultra Ball to thin out the deck. It's a lot more likely to pull Super Rod from 17 cards than it is from 18 cards. I don't really need those cards at the moment, and then Switch does seem a bit more desirable at this time. Okay, let's see. 9 cards in hand. I should have another Iono. I've used both Gardenia. I should have another Iono in the deck, and I have double research. So if I can get that research, then we're in a fine position. The question also asks, do they have energy recycling in their deck? Not necessarily energy recycler, but energy retrieval, superior energy retrieval, super rod. Okay, it doesn't look like they have it at that turn. Grass energy, nice. We're just gonna attach it to the Ivysaur right here. Loopy Lasso. Yeah. See, now we're gonna move in the Greninja. And here's why. Greninja's a lot more risky if they don't have the switch. I mean, if they had the switch, they would have used it last turn, right? So now they would have to retreat. They're asleep, they can't retreat. If they were awake, they would have to waste their energy on a retreat. The Chien-Pao, they need to discard 2 energies, just gotta make it more tight for everything. They used their V-Star very early. And the one thing Venusaur has going for it is the high HP threshold. We have switch in case they try to defensively in case they try to defensively move something out like this Venusaur from Go. Base Venusaur. I don't like calling it base because base makes me think base set. But it's non-rule box. Okay, they conceded. Inactive for too long. And you know what? I'm honestly going to take that as a win. Of course, if you were doing this challenge and you wanted to leave that up to your discretion, that would be all up to you. But I honestly think I had that game. They were not pulling the energy recycling they needed. And that was an issue on their deck construction compared to mine. We would have eventually gotten the stuff we wanted, which would have been Venusaur EX. And while he could have killed Venusaur EX, that was going to be a lot of energy destruction. We could have pulled Diono to reshuffle his hand. I think, honestly, we had a good chance in the fact that he, when inactive, conceded at that point. I'm going to take that. If it's like at the start of the game, they instantly concede, then I wouldn't consider that. You know, you didn't actually play a match. I think that was a very winnable situation for us. I think we did have victory at that point. And yeah. So with that all done, let us mark off on the Living Dex Challenge Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, Cherubi, and Cherrim. These Pokemon are no longer able to be used. And now, things are going to get a lot more interesting. So just to finish it off, here's the rules. I hope that if you see this video, you are inspired to try it out and post your results. This is going to be a long journey. There's like over 1,000 Pokemon by this point. I know not all are legal, but there's quite a few that are. So, I hope you have a great day and a beautiful time. Bye-bye.